Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to talk to you about a really, really important subject. It's probably not something you're thinking about, though. Most people, when they think muscle building, when they think fat burning, they think calories, fats, proteins, carbohydrates, right? So they're thinking big picture there, the macro level. Um, but there's two very important questions you need to ask yourself when you're choosing your food. And the question is this: one, is it nutrient dense? And two, is it digestible? Okay. The first one, nutrient density, isn't a really hard concept to master. It's basically the nutrient load per calorie. So, when I was saying a lot of times we just think in terms of protein, carbs, fats, and calories. Um, we don't necessarily think too much about the vitamins and the necessary nutrients we're putting into our body through our food. And so there's some foods that could have tons of macronutrients, the protein, the carbs, the fats, um, but they could be micronutritionally deficient. And so the thing is, you could actually be um, technically malnourished, even though you're eating lots of calories every day, right? So people who eat a lot of fast food every day, people who eat a lot of junk processed food that's had the nutrients taken out of it, they could be eating tons of calories, but they could be nutritionally deficient, right? And that nutrition that you're putting in your body, that's what's going to help your internal organs to work better. That's what's going to help your brain to work better. That's what's going to help your bones to become stronger. That's what's going to help your body to become more efficient. Now, we're talking about something like building muscle, which we know that the human body doesn't necessarily want to do all the time, right? We only build muscle under certain conditions. But if our bodies are not efficient at processing the nutrition that we're eating, and we are deficient in vitamins and minerals, then your body's not going to want to build muscle and burn fat because especially when in a nutritionally deficient environment, the body is going to want to hold on to as much fat as possible, protect the internal organs from different toxins that might be coming into it, and it uses fat for this purpose, and it's not going to be in the optimal environment to get you to your fitness goals. So you really want to think about nutritional density, right? So one example I could give you is, say, eating an apple versus a candy bar, right? So the apple and the candy bar, they might have a similar amount of carbohydrates in them, but the apple is going to have a lot of different vitamins and nutrients and things like that in there that are going to help help your body to become more efficient. It's also going to have fiber in there that's going to help you with your digestive processes. The candy bar, on the other hand, is probably just going to have a whole lot of sugar in it and very few vitamins and potentially some nutrient stealing items in there that are hard to digest. And we're going to get into that in our next topic here, which is digestibility. All right. So just because a food item is nutritionally dense does not mean that you're going to get all of that nutrition out of it. It has to go through the process of digestion. Okay. And if it doesn't digest properly, anything that does not digest properly can cause inflammation and damage to the intestinal tract. So, specifically, talking a lot about nuts and seeds and things like that. So, macadamia nuts are an awesome food. They're high in really good fats. They're packed full of vitamins. Same thing with Brazil nuts. Brazil nuts are packed with selenium that can really help your thyroid. But if I eat them raw, I go into gastric distress because my body can't digest them. And most people can't digest nuts in the way that they need to extract the nutrition out of them. So, what you need to do is really take those nuts and some of your seeds and things like that. You need to put them through a process of soaking. And so, what I'll do is I'll soak my Brazil nuts, I'll soak my raw nuts, and I'll soak them for 24 hours, and that allows them to become more and more digestible. Similarly, you can sprout seeds, you can ferment things, and that will help. The other thing you really need to think about when it comes to digestibility is your own gut health, right? So most of us carry around a buttload of microbacteria. And I've had people contact me and say, Chris, is it worth it to take a probiotic supplement? I don't see an immediate gain in muscle or anything like that. And what we need to get away from is that mindset that a supplement that we're taking should be making us more muscular or actually be a performance enhancement. We're not talking about performance enhancements when we're talking about supplements and nutrition. We're talking about building your house and setting up your foundation so that it doesn't fall down, burn down, and crumble. Right? You don't want to be putting on tons of muscle onto a body that's rotten from the inside out. So it's really important that we think about our gut, right? And think about that what's going on down there. As I said, you carry around a lot of bacteria in your gut. Some of it's good, some of it's bad, right? What I mean by good is it's friendly to your digestive processes. The bad is unfriendly to your digestive processes, and with a bacterial imbalance in your gut, that can lead to all sorts of things like constipation, diarrhea, heavy gas. It can lead to higher and higher levels of inflammation. Also, your gut houses a lot of your immune system, so it can definitely affect the rest of your body if your gut balance is off. And then the other thing is your brain is directly connected to your gut via a very long nerve called the vagus nerve or vagus nerve. I think it's vagus, but the vagus nerve is directly connected to your gut. So whatever's going on in your intestinal tract can actually also affect your mind, your mood, your whether or not you're having brain fog, your clarity and sharpness. So if you want more energy, if you want to feel good, if you want to feel great in the gym, if you want a body that works, right, and that's going to perform and that's going to burn fat and build muscle and do all these things, you seriously need to be taking care of your gut health and your digestibility. So how do you do that? Well, one way of doing it is to incorporate more fermented foods in your diet. So raw sauerkraut is great. Sometimes I'll take a cup of raw sauerkraut about 30 minutes before I'm actually going to eat a meal, just to populate my gut with some good bacteria. Kombucha is fantastic. You can either buy it or make your own. There's actually a lot of recipes out there for kombucha that you can put together. It's a fermented tea. It's actually slightly alcoholic too, but it's loaded with probiotic bacteria. Just be careful with some of the commercial kombuchas because they tend to be a little bit high in sugar. There's some that are lower, but making your own, you could definitely come up with a healthy and good kombucha. There's some other ones there, kefir, coconut kefir, and there's also dairy kefir. Now, if you're going to do a dairy kefir, what you want to make sure is that you're getting especially you with sensitive gut issues, you're getting a lactose-free kefir. And the reason is because if it's not lactose-free, there's actually not live probiotic bacteria in there, because the reason why it becomes lactose free is because the probiotic bacteria feed on the lactose, and that's how they get rid of the lactose in the dairy kefir. So make sure you're getting, it says actually lactose free live probiotic cultures on there. You could also supplement with live probiotics, and again I say live probiotics. You don't want to just be going up and getting whatever probiotic bacteria comes off the shelf at the drugstore, because if it's not refrigerated, it's probably not live. And the other thing to do is make sure that anytime you're eating meat or animal products or anything like that, make sure that you're also eating vegetables, green vegetables, because a lot of the heat toxins and things like that in, say, charred meat or charred bacon or anything like that could actually really throw off your gut health, and they think that that's one of the causal pathways that leads to cancer. And then beyond that, we also have things like digestive enzymes, papaya enzyme, and different things to help you digest. But a big thing here is making sure that you're watching your portion sizes. If you're eating too much at one time, that could seriously put some stress on your stomach and on your digestive system. Make sure you're chewing. Chew your food 30 times every bite. Make sure it's mush before it goes down. And not chewing your food can actually seriously throw off your digestibility. And those are just a few tips there. honestly probably a little bit more aware of this stuff than most people because of suffering from ulcerative colitis. But it's there are definitely some simple practices that you could put into your routine that don't cost money or a lot of money, but that could seriously change your game and seriously change your whole nutrition track. And if you just think about these two rules, a lot of the other stuff just kind of falls away. We want to bring everything down to its most simple common element. And of course, we want to watch calories, we want to watch protein, we want to watch carbs, we want to watch fats. But thinking about these two things are just two simple ways that you can bring your game to the next level. That's all I got for today, guys. If you got any questions, hit me up at info@warriorsoulapparel.com. I'm here. Make sure you're checking out the Warrior Soul Goji, where we're offering free workouts every single day, along with nutrition advice over our newsletter. And we've got a lot of other awesome stuff coming at you from there. And if you like military clothing, check out Warrior Soul Apparel. All right, I'm done plugging myself, guys. I hope this was helpful. Peace.